Tiffany, and this is my channel, Who's Your Handmade. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In today's video, this is part 2 of our personalized analysis for designing our handmade wardrobe of our dreams. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Welcome to anyone who is new to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please do consider subscribing before you go if you like this kind of content, and thank you so much, you guys, to all of my subscribers who are tuning in today. It really does mean so very much to me. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. YouTube really does like those thumbs up on those videos, and comment down below, what do you think about all of this that we're discussing today? We are back onto the topic of this analysis of our personal handmade wardrobe. So in the first video of this series, we had an introduction to this concept. I showed you Mariah's video. Mariah Pattie is her name, is her YouTube channel name. All of that is again going to be linked down below, and please do go check out her video to learn about her concept here. This is her concept, and I have done her workshop, and that's what we're talking about in this video series. We are bringing awareness to this really neat concept of analyzing your wardrobe and preparing yourself for a handmade wardrobe, and then we're going to look at my results, what I have wrote down for each step of her process here. There are 8 steps, and we're going to go through those today. But if you have not watched my first video, I'm going to link it up above. It will be linked down in the description box below. I would pause this video here and go watch that, because it'll probably make more sense for you to go watch that first and then come back to this video so that you can get the full picture. Again, I am not going to teach you this process. This is not my process. This is Mariah's. She designed this, and she goes into great detail in her video on each of these steps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the steps with me, and I will tell you what I have come up with for my answers. If you decide to do this workshop for yourself, please know that your answers are going to be different than mine. We are 2 different people. We have 2 different lives. We have totally different, requirements and jobs and family life. And so that's what makes this workshop so amazing, is that it's so personalized. It's not like I'm telling you to just go make 10 garments. 10 is maybe not a number that works for you. 10 is maybe the number that works for me. So it is really a personal journey I'm walking you through with me to give you an example of how this really does work. And then at the end, we're going to talk about how I have implemented this in my wardrobe over the year of 2022. And how it has affected my buying habits, and how I want to put it into action for 2023. This whole analysis is to help you design your handmade wardrobe. So what Mariah is really driving you to do here, she's driving herself to do, she's really designed this workshop to make your wardrobe almost entirely handmade. So when you're doing this workshop and when you're designing this kind of a wardrobe, you are planning your entire wardrobe around not buying ready to wear anymore, almost entirely. Like I said in the last video, there is a category in here, there is a step in here that we identify some things that we're just never going to make. Like, it's not going to be for us, and that's totally fine. There's a place for those things, but her whole goal here is to stop buying ready to wear and to help you focus in on a completely handmade wardrobe. So the first step that we have in this 8-step process is to identify why do you want to sew an almost entirely hand-sewn wardrobe? I have several different things that I've listed here. Forgive me if I look down, because I want to make sure I'm getting all these right. So I have several. I'm going to read all those to you, and then I'm going to pull out my top 4. So here they are. Modesty is the first one. Obviously, I have talked about modesty before. It is very important to me. I grew up in a very conservative kind of way, and modesty has always been important to me. My kind of modesty might be totally different than your modesty, and that's totally fine. That is our difference in people. Next one is well-fitting. Talked about this a little bit in the first video. I was so fed up with how ready to wear was fitting me. I was ready to be able to fit it more personalized to my body. Comfort, that's a big one. I want to be comfortable in my life. I need comfortable clothes. I'm a busy mom, and I need the level of comfort that can allow for what's going on in my life. The next one is uniqueness. I want to be different. I want to go out to the grocery store and be the only one wearing that dress. I want that level of uniqueness from my clothes. Empowerment. I can't tell you the rush that I have received so many times from just making my own clothes and then wearing it out in public. And even if I don't tell a single soul, even if no one knows around me, I know that I have made this. It looks amazing. I feel amazing in it, and that is true empowerment. The next one is a love of sewing. I discovered this video when I was very new to sewing. In January of 2022 is when I first watched Mariah's video about her workshop. And I had just been bit by the biggest sewing bug. I was so obsessed with it. I'm still obsessed with it. I love sewing so very much, and that is one of the factors that drives me to my why. The next one is learning a new skill. I do have one of those minds that I'm constantly trying to do something new, or I don't want to be bored. I don't want to be stale and stagnant. I can't just be still really most of the time. Even when I'm sitting in front of the TV, I'm usually multitasking. And maybe that's a woman thing. Maybe that's just how our brains work. We want to be multitasking. So I really do love this learning a new skill part of sewing. Next one is tradition for me. I love history. I love feeling a connection to our history with this sewing hobby that I've picked up. It's a way of life for me, really. It's necessary for me in my mental health to get in some sewing time, and I really love that it connects me to history and tradition. It also, on a personal level, connects me to my personal history. My grandmother was a wonderful seamstress, and though she passed away when I was 10, this love of sewing really connects me to her. And then the last one is a creative outlet that kind of is stemmed into learning a new skill. Like I said, I need to be busy, I need to be doing something, and I really have a lot of creativity inside of me, and this is a perfect expression of that creativity. So of those, I picked out 4. My top 4 are modesty. It's very important to me in my personal life. Comfort, busy mama, busy working mama. I need comfortable clothes. Love of sewing. I'm telling you, it is up at the top. I love this hobby so much. And then that creative outlet. I do have so much creativity inside of me that is just bubbling up, and I need to express it. To number 2, she wants you to identify your true style. So I took to Pinterest. I took to some pictures that I had accumulated in my personal photos on my phone. What kind of designs, what kind of styles stuck out to me? And so I'm gonna scoot over and share some of those pictures with you, and let's just run through what really stuck out to me. So definitely modest. I talked about that again. So a lot of skirts. I only wear skirts out in public, so a lot of skirts and dresses, and my blouses would not be too low cut, and I don't wear sleeveless blouses, so they would all have some kind of sleeve on them. So modesty was a big one. Feminine touches. I love to look very feminine. I like ruffles. I like flouncy kind of skirts. I love that feminine touch. I really like the modern prairie look. So that really ties into the long kind of tier dresses I have really been drawn to in 2022, and if you followed me for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's things like the Staycation dress that I've made 4 times now. There's a reason that I'm being drawn to that kind of dress. So we see those kind of prairie vibes, and we're thinking, you know, Laura Ingalls and that kind of thing, and that really does line up with my modesty kind of style again, but yet I don't want to look like I walked off the set of Laura Ingalls. So to to reinterpret that prairie kind of vibe in a modern way is really kind of an interesting take on style. So that's things like Simplicity 9542. I've had that on my radar. I haven't made it yet. And then Simplicity 9678. Those both give me prairie kind of vibe. I have a fourth category here that I have included because I am drawn to this style, but it's really just not practical. So I would love to, in the future, design some kind of way to incorporate these styles into some of my everyday garments and in a more modern kind of practical kind of way. So I'm talking about costumes from Outlander. I love Claire's style. Take a look at these, you guys. They speak to me on so many levels. Going back to my love of history again, I love anything historical. So Outlander, all the Outlander outfits, the long flowy gowns, the really neat kind of upper garments that she wears. And then looking at Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley version, which I'm not here to talk about versions. I'm here to talk about outfits. Outfits that Elizabeth wears in that version of Pride and Prejudice, I absolutely love. I love the skirts. I love the blouses. I love the vest. That vest is so neat. I would love to find a way to incorporate those styles into my everyday kind of modern day lifestyle. Okay, number 3 is to evaluate your current wardrobe. So what you're wearing now, what do you use now? What do you reach for now? So I have several of these that I have listed out. Now it's interesting to note, and she does point this out to you, that if the things that you're listing out in here do not match number 2, which is to identify your style, the category that we just ran through, probably a good idea to reevaluate number 2. So if you have some big, huge, lofty goals, which I have already kind of mentioned that last one that I talked about, the historical kind of nod to Outlander and Pride and Prejudice and that kind of thing, that definitely doesn't really fall into these categories. So I'm personally not going to kick it out of my style because I love that. It's beloved to me. It's not practical right now. It's not being incorporated right now, but maybe one day. So she does tell you to kind of look at number three's answers and compare them to the styles that you've identified in number 2. What I have actually identified in my wardrobe right now is loungewear, dresses, jean skirts, regular skirts that I wear in the summer that aren't made of jean, that are more comfortable and breezy, and also like work skirts, sweaters, which I love, sweatshirts, that kind of thing, and then t-shirts, which I would wear in the summer. Those are the things that are in my wardrobe right now that I am wearing. Number 4 is to identify your clothing requirements. So identify those things that you have to have in your wardrobe mainly for your occupation. We talked about this last time a little bit about your work situation would totally differ than mine. I do a lot of business casual wear, and then with the periodic professional wear, if I have like a big meeting or something, that would be my requirements for number 4. So I have skirts, pencil skirts or A-line skirts is what I really like to wear. Dressy shirts, so kind of like that sagebrush that I made not too long ago. That was a really good option. Nicer dresses. I love the fringe dress for a work kind of business casual wear. And then blazers. I really love the Ellie and Mac elevated blazer that I made, and I love those in my work wardrobe. So those are some requirements that I need for my occupation. Number 5 is to categorize your clothing. So we just talked about in the last 2 what I have in my wardrobe, what I wear all the time. So now she wants you to divide them into categories. Here are my categories. This is going to be very personal. My categories are not going to be the same as yours. You have a different life than me. So here are mine to give you some ideas of what you could put here. Loungewear. That's a big deal to me. I'm around the house a lot with the toddler. Definitely going to be wearing loungewear. I have workwear, which we just talked about. Swimwear for vacations. Obviously, underwear category. I put socks, undies, that kind of thing, slips. All of that is in with my underwear. Nightwear. Usually nightgowns is what I like to wear. outerwear would be your jackets, your coats, that kind of a thing. And then I have a category that has like 3 and 1. And this has actually changed since the first time I did this analysis, which is a really interesting point. So I first did all of this work in January of 2022. And since then, in that year, my clothing have kind of morphed from 3 categories into 1. So I have a category now that is go to town, like run to Walmart clothes, church clothes, and date night clothes. So before, in January of 2022, I had those 3 in their own separate category. I had different clothes that I would wear to Walmart than I would wear to church. I had different clothes that I would wear on a date night than I would wear to church. I had some different things that I could pull out of my wardrobe, and that was important to me. Now, a year later, in January 2023, I really don't have that much different. I wear a staycation dress to town. I would wear it to Walmart. I would wear it to church. And I would wear it on a date night. So when I'm thinking of those kinds of clothes, they fit into all those categories. So I have put all of those categories together for number 5. On to number 6. So this is our priorities, our stasis, and she calls them cheats and I called them compromises because I don't really feel like I'm cheating. I'm not cheating myself if I decide to go to the store and buy shoes. I have no way to make shoes. It's not cheating if I decide that shoes are going to be the thing that I buy. So again, just to cover real quickly, priorities are things that you will make, you plan to make. Those are definitely going to be handmade in your wardrobe. Stasis are things that you don't need any more of. You have plenty of those. And then what she calls cheats, but I'm calling compromises, again, are those things that you're just going to buy. So to go over these real quick, in priorities, I have the go to town church date night dresses. I have my workwear. I'm planning to make those. Nightwear, loungewear, underwear, underwear like undies, not socks or slips really right now, outerwear, and swimwear. So those are all in my priorities. Those are the ones that I plan to make, I probably will make, I will try to make in the future. Now, what's interesting is that I haven't put anything in stasis, so I'm just going to breeze right over that one. I feel like I can use more of everything, honestly, in my wardrobe right now. What I have done a little bit differently than what she has kind of described in her video is that for my compromise section, I have overlapped a lot of those with my priorities. So one day I really do want to be making underwear. It's on my Nick 9. So I really want to get to the point where I am making undies for myself. But if I just can't get it to work, if I cannot figure it out, it's going to move to the compromise section and I'm just going to have to buy them. So for compromise, I have put underwear, swimwear, loungewear, outerwear. So all of those are things that actually are found in priorities that I might be able to make at some point. Number 7 is to plan some projects. So where do you want to start with your goal here? Where do you want to kick off this new handmade wardrobe design? You want to start with it. What I decided to do with this number 7 is to divide it into needs and then wants. What do I need in my wardrobe? What are some holes that are in my wardrobe? And then what are wants? Like where do I want to start? What do I want to start with? I have on my needs are tops and dresses for work and church. Church would be kind of rolled up with like go to town or date night, that kind of a thing. So those would be things like the sagebrush, that would be the dress, something like Butterick 6763. I love that design. It's very beautiful. And then another Butterick pattern 6806. Those kinds of things that are more dressy, more for the workplace, but could also be used in the capacity of church or a date night. Those are my needs. And then for my wants, you got it, they're sweaters. I love making sweaters and I love wearing them. That's what I wear in the winter. That's my uniform of choice. So I have things like the Styla Rain pattern. It was just released not very long ago. It's a free pattern. It was a free pattern a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it's going to be free all the time. Styla Rain, and then things like Simplicity 9385. I have made that once before. I had to make some tweaks to it, but I love that sweater now. I wear it all the time. And then things like the grab a cup of Cardi, I would love to make cozy, kind of really some pieces in my wardrobe for right now. The thing that hopped onto my wants list is winter dresses. So I have what I'm wearing right now. This is a Staycation dress from Ellie and Mac. This is a winter version. It's in like a rib knit. You can kind of see it there. And I really need more of these winter kind of dresses. Most of my dresses are short sleeved, so I would love to hack some more staycations, maybe a different kind of sleeve. We'll just see. That's something that's on my want list. Step 8 is to stop buying clothes. The step 8 that she has designed in her process is to stop buying clothes. So that's going to look differently for everyone on their journey, their handmade wardrobe journey. If you're not at the point where you can stop buying clothes, that is totally fine. I kind of did go cold turkey and just stopped buying. Into what I want to discuss for the next few minutes, I want to tell you how this has changed my life in 2022. I said that I watched this video in January of 2022, really just disgusted with ready to wear and really looking for a different option. In the year of 2022, I bought very few items. I tried to list out some that I could remember buying. I really cannot honestly remember buying very much in actual stores at all. I've bought some loungewear. I like Walmart loungewear. It's comfortable, easy to wear, and sometimes when I'm getting groceries, I'll pick up a few things. I have bought one jean skirt because I had a need in my wardrobe. I've also made one myself, and now I know how to do that. So a Christmas shirt for the Christmas time. I remember vaguely around vacation time that I bought some things for vacation. They were like swim skirts that I knew I wasn't going to get made for myself. So I really had to think about that though, you guys. I really had to stop and think and try to pull up in my memory things that I had actually went and bought. So what has this stopped me from doing? I have stopped my chain buying. I had a lot of bad habits in going to stores and buying a lot of clothes that I really didn't even like. I stopped buying from places like Shein. I don't support that place anymore. I had an app, and my sister's somewhat to blame for this. There's an app called the Jane app, and I hope I'm not dangling a carrot in front of anybody, but it is a really neat app. It has a lot of different kind of things. They have clothes, accessories, shoes, that kind of stuff, and they're like limited quantities, so they'll go on sale for like $19.99 for the next 12 hours or until sold out. And that impulse kind of buying, like that little bit of a rush you get when you're buying something, you know, they're almost sold out of, or oh, I've got to get my color right now. That took me over for quite a while buying from that Jane app. My husband was like, another package from the Jane app? Yeah, it got kind of bad. So I've stopped doing all of that. I don't even have that app anymore. And then there was a local boutique, which I am all for supporting local. And if you want to do that, if you want to continue to do that, that is totally fine. But there was a local boutique that was doing like live sales on Facebook. And again, that rush, that like adrenaline rush that I would get, like, oh, I need to buy that on sale right now, or she's holding that up and I really like that. And it got to be quite a bit. So I don't do any of that anymore. Instead, I have made so many amazing wardrobe staples, and if you've been with me for a while, you will know of some that are my favorites. Things like this Staycation dress. Like I said, I've made 4 of them. I love them. It is one of my favorite patterns, and that is something that I was really lacking. So dresses were something that I was drawn to, especially on places like Shein, or Sheen, however you pronounce it. Like, they had very inexpensive, pretty kind of dresses, and I was drawn to those things. But now I've made them for myself. I've made shirts that I love. I've made skirts that I love. And so I am replacing that impulse buying with making and designing things for myself in my own wardrobe. I'm going to go with this in 2023. Like I said, I have redone my analysis, here in January of 2023. Some things have changed, not very much. Most of it stayed kind of the same. I really want to focus in on those wants and those needs, staying away from ready to wear, focusing in on quality pieces in my wardrobe that will fit very well and that I will get so much use out of. The whole goal in sharing this with you all is to maybe bring to light a different kind of concept in designing a handmade wardrobe, looking at it more holistically and more all-encompassing as opposed to just a part of your wardrobe. Will help to guide you here in these kind of strange days here in the new year. Sometimes we don't know exactly where to go with our wardrobe, and it really is a great concept. So again, please go watch Mariah's video if you have not done so already. It is an amazing video. It'll be linked down below, and leave a comment. Let's discuss this. What do you think about this? Really, for me, it's really helped to provide such direction, and looking back, it really has affected me in 2022. So okay, thank you so much for sticking with me this long. This was kind of like a heavy topic, so I hope that you've got a little bit of enjoyment out of this, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.